think we're recording.
All right.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we are.
I can hear you.
All right, we're live.
Good.
On Backward Hat Day. Let's do it.
Backward
Had a
Hat
few
Day. All
had
right.
a few technical difficulties this morning, so we're gonna get right into things here.
All right, right into it. All right, so good games last night. Today we have a 2-game slate, so small, given the competition with Major League Baseball and NFL. So we're going to dive into the first game, 7 p.m. Warriors at the Magic. Warriors are off to a rough start, 3-5 on the year. Magic are off to an even rougher start with 1-7 on the year. Magic are getting 9 points. The total is 226.5. 5 moves for the Sharps on the Warriors, 4 moves on the under. Who are you liking in this game?
Okay, matchup-wise for this game, on the Golden State side, we're gonna against Golden State, we're gonna want to target Wings. There's been 10 impact games by Wings against Golden State, averaging 24-4. So that'll put us on Franz Wagner. Forwards also versus Golden State have had 7 impact games, averaging 23, 5.5, 3.5. So that'll put us on Mr. Banchero. And Bigs have also had 10 impact games against Golden State. Not so much on the point side, but on rebounds. They're averaging 10 rebounds a game against Golden State. So that'll put us on another Blue Devil, Mr. Wendell Carter. And then on the Orlando side, we're going to want to target point guards against Orlando. There's only been 5 impact games by point guards, but all 5 have been since last week. So those are pretty new stats. So the trend is fresh, and we want to jump on that.
Okay.
Averaging 27, 3, and 7. And just as a note, SGA on Tuesday had 34, 4, and 6 against Orlando, and Luka on Sunday had 44, 3, and 5. So some pretty good games. And then we're also going to want to target forwards against Orlando, averaging 28, 10, and 2. And also averaging just under 4 made threes per game from the forward position. So that would put us on Andrew Wiggins. You still there, David?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So here's my plays.
Anyway.
Usually on him. What'd you say?
I said we're usually on Wiggins anyway.
So. Oh, yeah. All right. So here's my plays. Wendell Carter, over 9.5 rebounds. I like these stats I'm seeing matchup wise for bigs against rebounding against Golden State. Really just kind of a gut play. So that's one. Franz Wagner, 3.5 assists. He's done it in 6 of his last 8 games. And on 1-day rest this season, he's done it in 5 of 6. So I like that. Also, given the matchup, you had Wings, and Wings have been averaging 4 assists per game, so that would put him over. And then Banchero, 20.5 points. Orlando's only played 2 home games so far this season, but he's cleared it in both, and he's done it in 5 of 8 overall. But hasn't done it in his last 2. So I kind of feel like there's also a little bit of gut. I kind of feel like he's due after not having 2 kind of subpar games for him. And it's at home against Steph and the Warriors. So I think he gets up for this one and clears that 20.5. What do you think?
I, too, was feeling like I was going to have to play with the gut instead of the numbers for Orlando. So nothing was really popping. Wagner over 3.5 is probably the best one, assists, and then Carter over 9.5 rebounds. I wrote both of those down. Neither of them are
nice.
Official plays though for me because there wasn't enough support for those. I could see those both hitting. So
yeah, I have 2 on the Golden State side. Wiggins. over 1.5 threes. He's done it in the last 7 of 8. And versus Orlando, he had last 2 times they played, he had 8 threes and 2 threes. So cleared it both times, once by a wide margin. I might even look to get like a 3 plus or 4 plus threes on Wiggins tonight, based on that.
Last game they played also. I think he had 4 threes, so he seems to be shooting more.
Yeah, he's been accurate from 3. We're gonna jump on that today. And then Steph Curry, 26.5 points. He's done it in 6 out of 8 to start the season. Interesting to note, the only 2 teams he didn't do it against was Phoenix and Miami. 2 good defensive teams. Orlando Magic, not so much. So I like the 26.5 on Curry tonight.
Yeah, he's his production's been down a little bit, but he's going to bounce back. So I like that. All right, the 2 that I had Wiggins as well, but I had him for his rebounds and assist line. He's been he was really a good play on rebounds most of the year, and then the last couple of games he's been coming down a little bit on the rebounds, but his assists have been going up. So he's hit 8.5, which is the line, rebounds plus assists, 6 out of 8 games. So I like that tonight. I also like the fact that both of these teams are in the bottom 7 in terms of turnovers. Bottom 8 in terms of turnovers. So Golden State's averaging 16.5 turnovers per game, and the Magic are averaging 15.6 turnovers per game. So both pretty poor at handling the ball. I looked at who was popping for steals. Jordan Poole I liked a lot at 0.5 steals. It's a little juicy, minus 165, but he's done it in 6 of 8 games. The 2 games that he has not done it in are the 2 that you just mentioned, Phoenix and Miami. Both of which are top 10 in handling the ball and have the top.
I like that.
Top performance in terms of turnovers. So I could also see him getting some good run tonight if this turns into a blowout. So Poole over 0.5 steals.
Nice. I looked at Wiggins steals also, but the prop site that we use to check these props had him at 0.5 steals, which I don't think is really his line, because I'm like, ooh, that looks good. But then I looked at the odds on it; it was minus 900.
Yeah,
I think it's really 1.5. Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the later game, 8 p.m. Nuggets at Thunder. Nuggets are 4-3, off to a decent start. Thunder are 4-3 as well, off to what I would say is a great start, given the expectations for them. Thunder are getting 6.5 points. The total in the game is 228.5. Sharps are slightly on the Nuggets, minus 6.5, and the under. Just to note, these 2 teams played 10 days ago. The Nuggets won by 5, which is why that line is around 6 points. 122 to 127. Also why the total is the total was well north of 228.5. So who stood out in that previous game? Jokic had a triple-double, 19, 16, and 13. Yeah. SGA had a great game, as he usually does, 28, 3, and 7. All right. Who do you like in the matchups?
All right. So for this game, one thing I'd like to point out on just on the game itself. So I've still been tracking the crews that work these games, and Bill Kennedy is the crew chief on this game tonight. He's on the 6 games that he's worked so far this NBA season. He's 5-1 on the over. So I just want to point that out. That was the only one that was popping tonight. Just one interesting one. Oh, go ahead.
If you combine that with the fact that the previous game they scored 239 points.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like the over might be a good play, even though
seems like it's a good play. Yes.
Okay.
One other one I just wanted to point out, because he'll probably be on tomorrow, but one that was really compelling was Tony Brothers is 6-1 against the spread on the underdog so far to start this season. Pretty crazy. But anyway.
Okay.
So matchup wise, against OKC, two positions we're going to want to target: wings. There's been 7 impact games, averaging 21, 5, and 3. So that puts us on Michael Porter Jr. And bigs, also 7 impact games, averaging 17, 15, averaging 15 rebounds. And so that'll put us on Jokic, obviously. And on the Denver side, we're going to want to target bigs. There's been 9 impact games against Denver, 19, 8, and 4.5. So that'll put us on the this stunning collection of big men on the OKC between Poku, Baisley, and Robinson Earl. I think you know which one of the 3 I'm going to pick based on names, quantity of names, and point guard, point/combo guards. There's been 6 impact games, so that'll put us on SGA and Terrence Mann possibly, but probably SGA.
Okay.
So, anything to add or?
No, I just think it's as you get into the plays, it's worth kind of looking at what these guys did when they played just 10 days ago too.
So, Robinson Earl is going to be my first play on the board here. 7.5 points over. His last 3 games against Denver, he's had 10, 12, and 14. So the matchup's good. The point total is low, which I like. And he's done it in the last 3 games against Denver. So that's play number 1 from this game.
He also shoots some threes too, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Right? So
if he gets hot from 3, he can clear that easily.
Talking about he hits 2 threes, you're almost there. So that's a nice play. I like that.
Yeah. And then SGA, I'm going to go back to him again. His last 2 against Denver, his line's 27.5 points. He's done it in 5 of 6 this season. Last 2 times he played Denver, he had 28 and 29. Good matchup. He gets there against Denver. Not much more to be said. This guy dominates the usage for OKC. I think we think the game probably goes over. I like it.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, he's I would say he's one of the top 5 most exciting guys to watch in the NBA right now. So, and super consistent, right? And that's what we try to look for is guys who aren't up and down, but consistently delivering. And I think he's one of those. So this will be close. Like he'll get 28, 29 if he does.
You'll sweat it a little bit. It's a high number. Yeah.
But he's been there, so I like it too.
Okay, here's the one that's not a high number, which I really like. Michael Porter Jr., 16.5 points. Against OKC when they played on the 22nd of October. He had 22. They're also playing on 3 days rest today. So he played one other game this season on 3 days rest. That was against Utah on 10/28, and he also had 22 in that game. And overall, he's done it in 5 of his last 5 games. So I like that. Yep. I also like his 3-point line, 2.5 threes. He's also done that in his last 5 games, 5 of 5. He had 5 in that game against the Thunder, and the game against Utah on 3 days rest, he had 4. So the numbers across the board are like hitting at 100%. I like it a lot. Yeah.
I had both of those actually written down.
Very nice.
It's really the juice. So 16.5 points was around minus 130, I think. And 2.5 threes was around minus 150. So
what happens when you put them together?
Oh, you could. They're pretty closely correlated, so you probably won't get much. But but if I had to choose one of the two, the play that I went with was the points.
Okay.
It's almost a guarantee, though, if I back Michael Porter Jr., that he's going to have an injury.
A bad game?
So, no, his back will go out and. Yeah. So I'm with you. We're both on this play, but we'll see.
It hasn't worked for us when we've been so aligned so far. So
you're right. All right, you go with threes. I'll go with points. At least it's different.
There we go.
Different takes.
All right, and then I got one other. the rebounding stats just were too compelling. So Jokic over 13.5 rebounds. It's super high. Normally would scare me, but OKC ranks 28th in the league in rebounds allowed. Jokic's last 4 games against OKC, he's had 16. 12 was the only game he didn't get there, and then a 16 and an 18. So the matchup is great. You have the 7 impact games by big men against OKC, like I said before, averaging 15 rebounds per game. So I like this a lot.
Yeah, we talked about those games, I think, in the last pod. Gobert had a bunch of those. I like that too, but
it's too high for you.
No, it's okay. I think he's going to get there. I went with a different play on Jokic. I like the triple-double. It's plus 225.
Nice. I like that.
His assist line has been lower in the last couple of games, so that's the one that's probably going to kill it if it doesn't get there. But I think it's a nice play. Really super low odds, though, for a triple-double, but he's done it twice already this year. And then you got anybody else on the Nuggets
Nope,
side?
that's it. That's all my plays. Yeah.
So I got 2 more. This one's a little out of the box a bit, but KCP rebounds over 3.5 rebounds. He's done that in 5 of 6 games. OKC is the 28th worst rebounding team, as we were just talking about. I think he'll get there tonight.
This is a new one. They've never bet KCP for anything other than threes and points. So
I know.
I'm curious to see how this plays out.
But his playing time is rising. So I think he's going to get a lot of minutes tonight, and I think he'll get there. And then the last one is Gordon over half a block, so 1 block. He's done that in 5 of 7 games this year. But what I liked the most was that in the last 3 games, he's had 2 blocks in all of the last 3 games. So, especially with some rest, I think he's gonna definitely get a block. It'll be early in the game. I'm even gonna predict it's gonna happen in the second quarter.
Ooh, can you bet on that?
No, you can't choose that. But we'll certainly, if it doesn't happen in the second quarter, I won't bring it up tomorrow.
Okay.
If it does, then I'll make sure we circle back on that.
Of course.
Just one other notable: Josh Giddey's back in the lineup, which I think is only going to make the Thunder better. He did have 10 assists in his first game back, only 1 rebound, 25 minutes. I looked at his lines. I don't know what he's going to do yet. I think we need a couple more games of seeing where he's at. But there's certainly value on him right now because I think the lines are set lower.
Yeah, it also kept me off of SGA's rebounds and assists just because you don't know who's going to take what from who. But I think it's still, if anything, I think I like the points on SGA because now he's got a facilitator there, somebody who can distribute the ball and clear some space for him. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. He's only played in 4 games so far this year, so so SGA should get better with Giddey there. So. Yeah. All right, so that's our 2 games for the night.
Very good.
Enjoy those.
Nice, easy one.
Thursday night football and World Series Game 5.
Looks like Phillies are going to do it, huh?
I don't know. We'll see.
What is the series at now?
It's 2-2.
Oh, it is 2-2. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Every game, somebody takes a 5-run lead to start the game, and then whoever does that typically wins, except for the first game. So whoever scores first is probably going to win. So.
Yeah. All right, David.
All right.
Good work. I'll talk to you later. Bye.